Georgetown University has quietly severed its affiliation with Francesca Albanese, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the Palestinian territories. The decision was made without fanfare, but its implications are reverberating far beyond the campus gates. The world noticed when her name vanished from the university's list of affiliated scholars. No press conference, just a silent but powerful move. This subtle act sent a clear message to both the academic community and the public at large. This action signals a shift in how top academic institutions handle controversies that intersect with accusations of antisemitism. Universities are increasingly being called upon to take a stand, balancing academic freedom with the responsibility to reject hate speech. For Georgetown, ending its association with a high-profile UN official is a clear statement. The controversy around Albanese was too great a liability. The university weighed the risks and decided that its reputation and values must come first. Universities are now battlegrounds for debates over free speech and the rejection of rhetoric that can incite hatred. Students, faculty, and administrators are grappling with where to draw the line between open dialogue and protecting their communities from harm. Georgetown's decision is more than administrative. It's a public declaration about the standards it upholds. The university is making it clear that its affiliations reflect its core principles and ethical boundaries. When a UN rapporteur is accused of prejudice, it erodes trust in both the individual and the institution. The fallout can be felt not just in academia, but in international circles as well. By cutting ties, Georgetown draws a line. Academic affiliation cannot shield rhetoric perceived as discriminatory or as justifying terror. The university is sending a message that it will not compromise on its values, even when faced with global scrutiny. It's a declaration that some ideas are too dangerous for the imprimatur of a respected academic institution. In today's climate, universities must decide not just what they teach, but what they stand for. Georgetown's decision followed mounting accusations against Francesca Albanese, claims of anti-Semitism and justifying terrorism. Critics argue her statements cross from criticism of Israeli policy into anti-Semitic tropes, undermining her impartiality as a human rights investigator. Her response to the October 7th attacks, framing them as a response to oppression, was seen by many as justifying violence against civilians. Albanese has also referenced the Jewish lobby controlling U.S. policy, echoing dangerous conspiracy theories. For many, such language from a UN official is not just offensive, it's frightening. The core issue: can Albanese report on human rights impartially when her public record suggests a profound bias? Georgetown concluded the evidence warranted a complete separation. Watchdog groups like UN Watch immediately praised Georgetown's move as a victory for accountability and academic integrity. Hillel Neuer, UN Watch's executive director, called it a crucial step against the normalization of anti-Semitism in international institutions. Critics argued that Georgetown's affiliation lent legitimacy to rhetoric they saw as incitement. The university's action was seen not as censorship, but as setting standards for its community. This move is now a model for other universities, showing that institutions can and should hold scholars accountable for their words. The campaign's success highlights a shift. NGOs and citizen movements can challenge the affiliations of powerful figures. Georgetown's decision is a precedent for demanding real consequences for misconduct. It's a signal that academic brands must be protected from association with hate. Far from Georgetown, a horrific attack in Sydney, Australia, showed the deadly consequences of anti-Semitic ideology. During Hanukkah at Bondi Beach, a father and son killed 15 people in a meticulously planned act of terror targeting the Jewish community. The attack was timed for maximum impact, turning a celebration into tragedy. Months of planning, firearms training, and failed bomb attempts revealed the depth of their hatred. The attackers saw their victims as symbols, not people. A chilling result of indoctrination. Critics argue that when public figures use rhetoric that dehumanizes Jews or questions Israel's legitimacy, it helps mainstream the ideas that fuel such violence. No one blames Albanese directly, but her detractors point to this attack as the tragic endpoint of unchecked anti-Semitic ideology. The lesson words and ideas can create the environment for real-world violence. Investigators found the attackers had recorded an anti-Semitic video manifesto before the Bondi Beach rampage. The video, linked to Islamic State ideology, justified the attack as a righteous act against Jews. It's a disturbing window into how propaganda and extremist narratives can turn people into killers. The attackers saw themselves as soldiers in a holy war, their victims as legitimate targets. This is the end result of dehumanization and indoctrination. The manifesto's existence makes it clear. This was anti-Semitic terrorism, not just personal grievance. The attackers' own words show how ideology can become a blueprint for mass murder. The global spread of such ideas is a pandemic of intolerance. The urgency is clear. Combating anti-Semitic rhetoric is not optional. It's a matter of life and death. As the Albanese controversy unfolded, another storm was brewing on the international stage, drawing global attention to the ongoing crisis in Gaza. Israel clashed with a UN-backed agency over a high-profile report predicting imminent famine in Gaza, a report that quickly became a flashpoint in the broader debate over humanitarian conditions in the region. Israel called the report biased, claiming it was based on incomplete or misleading data. Officials argued it ignored a recent surge in humanitarian aid shipments and failed to account for the complex logistics of delivering food in a conflict zone. Israel also insisted the report failed to meet the agency's own technical criteria for declaring a famine, raising questions about the methodology used. This dispute highlights a deeper issue, one that goes beyond a single report or agency. Israel's profound mistrust of international bodies it sees as biased or even hostile to its interests has only deepened in recent years. Israeli officials accuse the agency of retrofitting evidence to fit a political narrative rather than presenting an objective assessment. For Israel, such reports are not neutral. They're seen as tools in a broader campaign to delegitimize its actions and policies on the world stage. These recurring disputes erode trust in international institutions. When facts are contested and narratives diverge, the public is left uncertain who to believe, fueling confusion and skepticism about the truth. The controversy over the food report, like the Albanese affair, has become a symbol of the wider struggle over credibility and impartiality. It feeds the perception that the UN is not an impartial umpire, but rather a player in the conflict. This perception makes genuine peace and reconciliation harder to achieve, as trust in mediators is essential for progress. The battle over facts and narratives is now central to the conflict itself, shaping not just policy, but public opinion and the prospects for peace. The Georgetown controversy is part of a wider problem: rising anti-Semitism on American campuses. Universities, once havens for open inquiry, are now hotbeds of anti-Israel activism that often crosses into anti-Semitism. Critics say some academic departments push a radical ideology, cast in Israel and America as oppressors, and excusing terrorism as resistance. This environment allows anti-Semitic tropes to flourish under the guise of academic discourse. Jewish students report feeling isolated and unsafe, with slogans and movements targeting Israel defended as progressive causes. The risk universities become places of indoctrination, not critical thinking. The Albanese affair is a case study in how academic affiliations can legitimize rhetoric that fuels a toxic campus climate. After the Bondi Beach attack, Australian journalist Erin Molan criticized leaders for offering empty words instead of real action against anti-Semitism. She argued that years of inaction emboldened extremists and created the conditions for violence. The call is clear. It's not enough to condemn attacks. Leaders must fight the ideology behind them. This means better Holocaust education, serious law enforcement, and holding public figures accountable for incitement. The campaign against Albanese is an example of demanding concrete steps, not just statements. Hillel Neuer even called for sanctions and travel bans, real consequences, not symbolic gestures. The time for endless debate is over. Decisive action is needed to protect Jewish communities. Institutions must move beyond platitudes to real commitments. The message, safety requires more than intentions, it requires action. The events linking Georgetown, A UN rapporteur, a terror attack, and a disputed food report are not isolated. Rather, they are threads in a much larger tapestry of global challenges. Together they reveal the fragility of public discourse and the urgent need to defend truth in every sphere of society, from academia to the media and beyond. This is about upholding academic and institutional integrity in an age of disinformation and polarization, where facts are often twisted and trust is easily eroded. When universities lend credibility to those accused of hate, they not only betray their mission, but also risk undermining the very foundation of education and open inquiry. Georgetown's decision was an attempt to restore integrity, to draw a clear line against ideologies that dehumanize, and to reaffirm the values that should guide all institutions of learning. Fighting anti-Semitism is a barometer for the health of democracy. It is a test of whether we are willing to protect the rights and dignity of all people, regardless of background. History shows that societies which tolerate anti-Semitism soon find themselves tolerating other forms of hatred and bigotry, leading to division and violence. Challenging anti-Semitism, whether it appears in a terrorist's manifesto or in the rhetoric of a UN official, is not just about one group. It is about defending pluralism, freedom, and the rights of all minorities. These events force us to ask, who do we elevate as moral authorities, and how do we ensure that those in power are held to the highest ethical standards? What standards do we demand from our leaders, our educators, and ourselves in the pursuit of justice and truth? The Georgetown decision, the criticism from watchdogs, and the public outcry are all part of a necessary process of accountability, a process that keeps our institutions honest and our values clear. In a divided world, standing up for truth and against hatred is not just a moral imperative, it is essential for our shared future and the preservation of democracy itself. The fight for integrity and against hate is not just important, it's urgent, and it calls on each of us to act with courage, clarity, and compassion.